Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to the next episode of Let's Play Civilization Beyond Earth. We're playing as the Franco-Iberian Society with, we brought, I think, artists with us, and we started with our free worker. So again, this is still pre-release, things may change by the time you get your hands on this, this game, and certainly we'll have learned a lot more about gameplay, so please, forgive my my F-ups. We are playing on the next to last difficulty as well, or could we see this right over here? We're playing on Soyuz difficulty, so one step down from Apollo. And I said that we would talk about quests this time. So this is something that is definitely new in Beyond Earth compared to Civ 5. Now there are two, well, I was going to say two types of quests. Well, one panel is showing you the victories that are available. There are 5 victory types in the game. Domination is probably one of the more straightforwards. Take over every other player's capitals. If you played Civ 5, this will be very familiar to you. There's also the contact victory, which requires you to do a few funny things. Step 1 is to discover the progenitor signal, which requires that you do 2 of 3 things. If with an explorer on you create an expedition on a progenitor rune, there's a small chance that you can find a copy of the signal in there, so that would be one potential step. Alternatively, you have to research and build the transcendental equation and research and launch a deep space telescope, and that will do that. The other 3, excuse me, emancipation, the promised land, and transcendence, in a sense are kind of samey because these all require you to get very high level in an affinity. Transcendence requires, so it requires that you research 3 different technologies to start off with. That's step 1. But you will ultimately need very, very, very high level in harmony to complete this. Promised Land, you start off with the laser comm satellite, but requires very, very high levels in purity, and emancipation also starts off with a laser comm satellite, but needs very, very high level in supremacy. People tend to be referring to these 3 as the science victories, but they do also have, extra flavor. And then there's the basic quests over here. Now, these serve, I'd say, 3 different purposes. The first purpose is almost as a pseudo sort of tutorial, pointing out things that are good to do. So by grabbing the first resource pod, we started the Gifts from Home quest, and it's saying, hey, why don't you find a second resource pod? When we complete that, we'll actually get a reward for doing so, which is very nice. The other thing they do as you go on, they will lead you, some of these will lead you to a victory type by sort of hinting that you go in a certain direction. Particular contact, unless I'm wrong, tends to, well, I guess it's a combination of a few things. We'll see how it goes. And then finally, there's different quests that come up that might replace things like the city-state missions, for example, and will give you rewards when you complete them. So it's kind of an interesting little system, and we'll see a bit more of that as we go forward. So let's go ahead and try to burn through a few more of these turns a little bit faster. So I'm going to go ahead and try the expedition. We've seen our first alien here, an alien drone. Now, aliens will not generally attack your units unless you get close to a hive. The exception is, as far as I can tell, they will attack colonists if they're just unescorted, for example, but they won't tend to attack military units unless you're actually threatening their hive. But colonists they consider to be very yummy, I suppose. So we're going to pop onto this derelict expedition, and yeah, it is 5 turns, so despite the fact that there's miasma, and we'll be taking 10 hit points of damage per turn, we'll be able to complete this expedition before we die, so that's going to be very handy. There are ways to remove miasma. First of all, you know what? I never actually locked in a, I just realized I never actually locked in an explicit technology. I was just sort of clicking around and then I stopped. We were accidentally locked in on ecology. I don't think that's what I actually want to start building. But to make my point, ecology unlocks the ability to be able to miasmic repulsor, which is an orbital unit, a satellite that pushes miasma away. There's also, under alien biology, you get the ability for your workers to clear miasma, and also for your workers to be immune to miasma, which obviously is the combo to go there. Yeah, right. I'd even queued up the harmony affinity, which is not really what I want to do. Yes, we will complete ecology at some point because we'll want the miasmic repulsor. We'll want genetics for the farmer lab relatively early. Like a lot of these first tier things we'll want. A big part of me feels like getting chemistry early might be handy to reveal petroleum. We might be lucky enough to get that. We'd also unlock laboratories for more science, which is obviously very, very strong. We will want our rangers relatively early, and we will want combat rovers as well, and thorium reactors are nice. Engineering also reveals titanium. I think I'm going to leave ecology aside for now. That was sort of a bit of a oops. And we're going to work on chemistry. You'll notice computing is the most expensive of the tier 1 branch technologies, they do unlock 2 unit types as well as the ability to start spying. So I'm going to do chemistry into engineering so we can reveal some different stuff while we consider where we might want to expand. And then I think after that we might pick up our pioneering, which we'll need to build a colonist. So we'll grow a little bit tall to start off with, and then we'll see what we can see and then figure out a good place to put a city. Someone else landed very, very far away. Tiangong, that's the PAC, the PAC, the Pan-Asian Cooperative. Hello, nice to meet you. How's it going? Goodbye. I'm happy that you're nowhere close to me, although it does mean that maybe some of the more late game dudes will land near me. We'll see how that goes. So we finished our plantation around the fiber, so we're getting some nice production there. We have the extra people as well. I agree that locking this tile would be nice, and in fact, we should go ahead and build a plantation there right away. So we've got, what is this, a manticore? Right, so these are ranged units. We've got the drones, and we've got the wolf beetles. Wolf beetles are, you can't really get stats from here, unfortunately. Wolf beetles are slow and squishy. The drones are a little bit more powerful, but overall we're okay. We are taking damage over there. Now, nests can spawn, I think, relatively frequently on xenomass, unless I'm wrong. But they can be in a few different areas as well. There may be a nest here. Nests do spawn units out every turn. Okay, we finished our Old Earth monument. We could go straight into a clinic, but I think I'm going to squeeze out an explorer at this point and send it to the south as well. We've also got the ability to develop our first virtue, so we can take a look at that. There are 4 virtue trees. You do not need technologies to unlock any further ones. They're also quite a bit bigger and deeper than the social policies you get in Civ 5. But what's also interesting is as follows. There's not really a capstone for completing a tree. However, every 5 policies that we get, or every 5 virtues that we get in a virtue tree, we get an extra bonus. So going down prosperity is a lot of like growth, free worker, free colonist, cheaper culture. I really like mind over matter for a bunch of bonus health. It's a +7 happiness. That is pretty potent. Knowledge is good for technology. Industry lets you build things faster, and might makes you mightier, for example. So let's say we go down the prosperity tree. Every 5 that we take in the prosperity tree, we unlock a synergy bonus. So if we unlock 5, and it doesn't matter which 5, it can go straight down, it doesn't make a difference, we'll get +10 growth in every city, then +1 health in every city, and +50% orbital coverage radius from cities, so more better satellites. So again, sort of growth-oriented knowledge here. We get more culture. So yeah, knowledge is both technology and culture, and obviously that ties in really well for us. So we're going to probably do a lot of knowledge stuff. Here we get +10 science in every city, and synergy, finally we get a free technology, and once we get 15 virtues in the knowledge tree. Not only that, we can sort of mix it up a bit because we can also go wider, because if we get to 6 tier 1 virtues, doesn't matter what tree they're in, as long as we get 6 in the first tier, we'll get an extra free virtue. Well, that's pretty nice. If we get to 10 somehow, 10, we'll get +10 production and energy in the capital. Well, that's pretty freaking phenomenal as well. And then finally, another free technology. Same thing in tier 2, and finally in tier 3. If somehow we can get, what is that? 9, 10? Maybe it's 10 actually. Tier 3 bonuses, we get +10 all the things in every city. But obviously this is pretty difficult to do unless you really pack out a lot of culture. So you get a lot of freedom as to where you want to go. There are certain breakpoints that are very nice. Anywho, foresight is decent, especially as we stay with one city, and it looks like we're going to stay with one city a little while. +10 science while healthy is nice. Not that we're producing a lot of science right now. We're doing 4, so whether it'll even give us the breakthrough we need for that 5th beaker or flask for science is a little bit questionable. The production towards buildings, well, right now we're building a unit, but there will be more buildings soon. You know, better growth, all that is fine too. You know, wow, it would be really great if we could have gotten field research before we built that first expedition. You know, hold on, let's grab the +10 science boost, which is not quite enough for a breakpoint, but soon. We're going to get our next social policy in 5 turns. I think it actually makes sense for us to stop working this. We'll just heal up over here. We're going to wait until we can get the +30 boost from finishing an expedition. I think it resets our entire progress, unfortunately. Now, the aliens are getting close to Lakar, and we could have the city bombard the aliens, but they won't come into our borders. We haven't harassed them. We're not close to any nests, as far as we can tell. Well, they would be attacking our explorer if he was there. They should just leave us alone if we don't shoot them, so I'm going to leave that be. We'll also get a first quest decision. Now, oh, we got to show over here. Our Old Earth Relic costs 1 maintenance and +2 culture. And you might think that that's, that's all there is to it. But every time you build a building, a few turns later... Oh, this is a different quest. A few turns later, you will get a quest decision to make that will give you a bonus to the building. We'll get one very soon, which will give us the ability to either make our monuments, or Old Earth Relics, I should say, maintenance free, or have them do +1 culture. So basically, I'm choosing an extra energy per turn versus an extra culture per turn, which is kind of interesting. And all the buildings get that. So what you see is not necessarily what you get on the tin. It is clear that the indigenous species of this planet may pose a threat to our growth. Though we cannot determine their intelligence, their hostility has been documented. Moving forward, we must decide how to deal with them. Do we attempt to domesticate the local wildlife or exterminate it? So, we get a choice here, which A, gives you a bit of a flavor thing, but also they come with specific bonuses. If we choose to eradicate the wildlife, that will give us progress towards the purity affinity. Purity is the idea that humans are perfect and awesome as is, and we got to change the world to suit our purposes, and that will mean mostly killing all aliens. Or we can domesticate them. The Harmony people want them sort of, as pets, as friends, and to learn them. And the Supremacy just thinks, well, just humans are the boss. We'll use technology to make ourselves better and to dominate the world that way. If we close here, if we take a look at our map, I don't think we've got any real obvious direction as to where we might be, with the exception that there's a ton of floatstone around. Here, 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 and the stack of 9 over here, which to me points that we might want to go down the purity route. So, and we may not be locked into that, because we do have a little fraxite, we do have a little bit of xenomass, but with that in mind, I think what we'll do is we'll choose eradicate, with the idea we may end up going purity. It'd be quite nice if we could reach the first level of an affinity as well. I don't know if that'll be enough experience for it. It won't be. If we mouse over here... Oh, it didn't actually give us the XP yet. I think it'll progress soon. You'll notice that in addition to unlocking the unit upgrades and the unique unit types, and there's unique buildings later on as well, as you reach certain breakpoints in various affinities, you get bigger bonuses. For example, once you get to Purity 1, aliens will never attack a tile with an Explorer unit. So you can use your Explorers to defend your colonists, for example, but it also means you're free to go after... expedition sites that are adjacent to nests, because your explorers will not be attacked, which is kind of handy. Harmony makes aliens less aggressive, and you can actually be healthy in miasma. Once you get to level 6, instead of taking damage in miasma, you actually heal there, which opens up the possibility of using another satellite that spreads miasma. Would be bad for everyone else, but would be good for you. Kind of fun. All right, let's move forward. There's another quest update as well, if I take a look here. Yeah, occupational hazard there. Oh yeah, that's the quest we started. We made the decision to eradicate them, and that gave us a follow-up quest to destroy 2 alien nests. If we do that, we'll get progress towards purity, for example. We still have the gifts from home going. We've also got a mission to found an outpost, which requires that we first start by researching pioneering. It'll then require that we build a colonist, build an outpost, and then develop it into a city. It is worth noting that if you do go down the prosperity tree and you get this thing here, which gives you a free colonist unit, that does not complete the quest step of building a colonist, which is kind of awkward. So keep that in mind, that if you're going to want to complete the quest, you're going to have to build, say, like that 3rd city, basically, which can be fine, but, so now we're 2 turns away. We're going to wait until this guy's fully healed and then start working on that. We don't have to wait until this is complete. I just wanted to make sure we didn't finish the expedition too soon. All right, we are now fully healed. We're just please waiting a little bit longer. Please waiting a little bit longer. There we go. And we'll go ahead and move him back onto the expedition site and start to dig. Oh, will it insta-finish? Because it's not telling me the time anymore. It might, so I don't want to do it. I want to wait one more turn before I click that in. Maybe it does remember your progress. I thought it reset it when we leave. This is someone else far away. It's the entire other continent that's getting everyone here. So we've got General Vadim Kozlov of the Slavic Federation. I believe, did they get faster worker units or something like that? They tend to be quite expandy, is what's important over here. It's developer virtue. We're going to take field research for 30 beakers from finishing expeditions. 30 beakers represents 6 turns of progress right now, which is pretty good. And... 2 turns left. Okay, so it did save the progress. So yeah, we'll get our 30 science boost. So I could have started last turn, but that's okay. Worker is done. We finished the second plantation. We've got an extra population unit, which is working this tile over here. I think I would much prefer you if you work there. Oh, I think it's because I had the soft lock on the production, which is good. You can sort of do the Civ 5 trick of locking the production and squeezing out a few extra nuts, I suppose. We're going to go ahead and want to build a paddock on there right away. We do start with the technology to build all those basic things. You can build the plantations, the paddocks, farms, energy generators, and mines. You start with all of those. However, later on, you unlock some much more powerful type of improvements. So we finished our other explorer. I think at this point I'm going to squeeze out a clinic here for the extra science. It'd be nice if we get to the break point where the extra... Oh, we are getting a half a beaker from the health that we got from our virtue. So even though it's not showing up here, I guess we are actually getting the extra science from the virtue that we picked here, right? The plus 10%. So that's nice. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop down a clinic. We're going to want the health later on, but just the plus 1 science is going to be handy. We could do a worker and start looking to clear nests with that. But actually, unlike Civ 5, the nests are not always directly guarded by an actual person standing on it. So sometimes you can clear a nest and sort of ninja it. Okay, we completed our expedition in the north. We found survivors in a derelict settlement, and they have decided to settle the city of Lakar, which gave us a free population. Well, that's nice. More people is always more better. And let's go ahead and keep focusing on growth over here. I think that's going to be quite nice. We're going to have to move you off the miasma, but I think what we'll do is... I'm going to accept that we're going to take a little extra damage, move on to the miasma over there, just to help spot a bit more. What do we pop out of here? Oh, we found a satellite, a free solar collector in the city of Lakar. So this is our first satellite that we can pop into space. So there is an orbital layer over here, right? Ground layer, orbital layer. And the orbital layer will allow us to deploy satellites. So I think we can deploy satellites anywhere inside of this blue radius over here. And what we've unlocked here is the solar collector, which will give plus 1 energy to every tile that it hovers over. It's got, you're going to put on one tile and it'll do all adjacent ones. I think we could just save it, but we could also launch it now. And I think if we do launch it, I think what we'll do is launch it onto this tile here, because 3 tiles that we work, plus the city tile, which gets automatically worked, will get the plus 1 energy. We could move our worker assignment, but I think it still makes sense to work this tile over here. So yeah, this will give us an extra 4 energy, which would effectively double our output right now. So we're going to launch. We're going to put it here. You can see the radius where it would be put. And we're going to go there. So there are satellites that come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Well, all sorts of functions anyway, I should say, plus energy, plus farming, science, military ones that give you more combat strength or do orbital strikes and all kinds of awesome stuff. So we'll go ahead and put that there. And indeed, oh, why did it go up to plus 10? That would just be 4 extra tiles. Oh, and that's right. And it gives us a plus 20% growth if it's over a city. Solar collector. I forgot about that. So any city in range. So you have to have one of the tiles that the satellite covers, right, which it does, be on a city. So the fact that one of the tiles is the city itself, not only the city gets the plus 1 energy thing, but the city gets plus 20% to its energy production overall, which is stunningly good. Especially like later on, that's going to be insanely good. Satellites are very, very powerful. And I don't think I put enough attention to them. Let's go ahead and step on this hill over here for some extra vision. We found another resource pod, which is nice. You will notice our Explorer has no expedition modules anymore. So if we do find a site, we won't be able to work it. Oh, I thought it was going to end here, which is why I was sending it up, because it's turning around. Okay, it does still end. Okay, we're going to get it to finish checking out the sort of peninsula over here. Then we're going to send it to the city to pick up an expedition pod. We're going to build a paddock over here, which gives the plus 1 production and can be further improved. And our quests are still the same. Oh, it's 3 resource pods. I thought it was 2. I'm not sure, but we found another one. So now you can see there's canyons over here that you can't walk over with regular ground units. You can get hover units later that can pass over those. Yeah, I think that's going to be a relatively reasonable route. Okay, let's finish checking here. Got some more basalt. Let's just go off the coast. We've got some more coral. A half decent place for a city up here, actually. Maybe here. because that could work the mega floatstone.
Year-old world's worth of resources shared among a handful of people. We're gonna make a fortune here.
And again, I do like the quotes. They're all read by different people, which is handy. Laboratory, bonus science. The recycler, bonus production. Also a bonus to internal trade routes. Also station trade routes. We'll talk about stations once they show up. Reveal petroleum and let us build petroleum wells. Do we have any petroleum? Negative. Alright, that's fine. Unit needs orders. That's you over there. I guess I can pop onto this hill for some more vision. Pretty sure we're mostly seeing what we will see. You go and head yourself over to Le Caire. Hopefully you don't die on the way home from walking through miasma, but you should be okay. Once you get there, we'll heal you up, and you'll get the new expedition unit, and that will be fine and lovely. The clinic is still underway. And we're going to pop that. So, we completed. So, this is not what we popped, but by completing Gift for Home, we get 25 free science right away. All the instruments are completed from, and actually this happened to be bits of an old laboratory, which gives us 19 bonus research. Overall, good progress towards our technology. Very happy about that. Our explorer over here is still good to go. We will end the turn of miasma if we do this, but I'm okay with that. We got some copper over here. When improved with a mine, it gives you +1 energy, but I believe laboratories get +1 science from copper. Or, oh, it might be networks. Another landing far away, again, all on the other continent. We can really start off going a relatively peaceful expansionist. We're going to have to see. We will get a neighbor at some point, probably. And as long as we can play nice with them, there might be a lot of room for us to play. We get another virtue. So I could go down here for some extra science from population, or some extra culture from social mores. Creative class is nice if you got a lot of positive happiness, but that one may be a little bit challenging. I think I'm probably going to start down the industry branch at this point. Well, we will want the extra culture at some point. I feel like we're going to get 4 tier 1 techs in knowledge. So would it be handy to get 2 tier 1 techs in industry just to get that 6 bonus? Well, obviously you get to get labor logistics. More energy from every basic resource is very nice. Or flat energy in the capital is fine. Wonder production. We will be building wonders at some point, so that's handy. Investment. We might just want to unlock labor logistics with the idea that we'll get scalable infrastructure later on. That'll probably be our 6th tier 1 bonus for our synergy. And then we get a free virtue, but hopefully we can use that to maybe get more tech up. So I think it's going to be fine, actually, if we take social mores now, which will give us slightly more culture, which will help us unlock more of these virtues, which ties in nicely with our overall faction bonus, where we get the free tech once we get to level 10. So culture, in a sense, for us, works like technology. Okay, Le Caire has finished, what did it finish? Oh, the clinic, which is nice. So we could go and we could build a second worker. Not convinced we need that yet. We can't yet build the colonist, which is fine. We may want to start off with a soldier, especially to escort a colonist once we get to that point. I feel like I might want to squeeze out a laboratory first. Because technology, yo, it's pretty good, I hear, in these games. I don't know, it's just a rumor. Ah, more resource pods. Not much in the way of expedition sites. Kind of oddball. Huh. On the other hand, we have no alien nests near us, which is convenient. On the other hand, making it harder for us to complete our mission. More bonus science. And a quest decision. There we go. Our first station. Several new ventures wish to establish their operation near our territory. They provide different services that may be useful to us. So sometimes the stations just spawn on their own, as far as I can tell. Or maybe it's the other civilizations that are picking. But now we got a choice. We can either have Stet mining nearby, which if we trade with them, will give our city +4 production. Or Red Sun, which again, if we trade with them, will give energy. I think production is nicer than energy at this point. I would gladly take that. So I'm going to approve Stet mining. So we completed the station charter quest. They established themselves near us. We discovered them. So only one person can trade with a mining station or a station at a time. And then we'll also level up. Right now it's 4 production. But if we trade with them, and we complete a trade route, which takes, what, 30 turns or whatever, then they'll level up to tier 2 and do 6 production. I think they can go up to tier 3, which I think will be 8 in this case, which is not bad. We can probably get more from internal trade routes, but it's a nice little option. The other thing you can do is you can destroy these things, which will give you a bunch of stuff right away. You also tend to get missions to do that, especially if you got sort of like opposing stations. Where they are is fine, because I still think we might settle up here first or further to the east. We're going to have to check that out once our explorer is reparated again. We've also got a resource pod over there we'd like to pick up at some point. Anyway, this worker is done here. We don't have another unique thing unlocked yet. Improving this tile makes a lot of sense because we're probably going to want to continue to work it, for example, because we've got the satellite over it, for example. So we could build either a farm for +1 food or a generator for +2 energy. And right now I'm going to say that 2 energy is equivalent-ish to food. There's a fair number of things that we can do to improve the farm, though. One of the things that still bugs me, God, this bothered me in like Civ 5 as well, is let's say we look up farm. It does not tell us what improves the farm, which is a real shame because there's some great stuff. If we go and take a look at the tech tree, and we take a look at over here under biology, vertical farming, +1 energy from farm improvement, +1 food from farm improvements. Well, I would like to know what all the things that improve farms would be, right? Because like when I'm making this decision, what should I build? Well, there's probably stuff that improves generators, and there is. And there's buildings that can improve stuff and all kinds of different nonsense. I mean, later on, once the game is released and there's more experience, A, I might have more of these memorized, but also B, there'll probably be wikis or even mods. One of the mods I play with in Civ 5, when you mouse over a farm, it will tell you all the technology and all the buildings that, you know, synergize, for example. I think we're going to go ahead and build a farm because more food equals more growth, which is pretty good early on. Money is pretty good too, but I'll take the growth at this point. And knowing that we're probably going purity, so we'll probably pick up a vertical farming. Will combo very nicely. We do have the extra citizen we may want to lock down. Again, we still have it sort of... Yes, again, we have the tiles locked, but if I click here, it will change what tiles get worked on. I'm going to keep doing the production for the sort of production trick, Civ 5 style. And satellite is here. Be nice to have this tile unlocked, and so that we can improve it after. We might do that once we finish this worker. We may go and buy this tile. It's a little bit crazy, but just to get our worker to do that. Now, you know, getting the basalt makes more sense. Let's just we'll lock the growth tile and call that good enough. At that, we got resource pod, the quest completed, right. No new quests waiting for us. No, still got to destroy alien nests. We'll get there at some point. Engineering is done. Unlock the combat rover, the thorium reactor, which one of the quest decisions you can pick with this actually bumps it up to a +5 energy, which is nice. It also unlocks trader specialist slots, which are nice. Repair facilities, bigger production of land units. I don't tend to build these, but maybe I should. And we'll reveal titanium on the map. We've got some here. 6 stack, which is really good. Oh! Whoa. Cancel. No want farm. Want mine on titanium. There's also some to the east. We got some over here. Oh, weird. Titanium rich area. Tons over here. Okay, good. So titanium, when improved with a mine, gives you +3 production. And actually, the mine itself will give +2. So you can see here, changes to this tile, +5 production overall. Holy crap, that's fantastic. Let's go on the coast to avoid the miasma. And yeah, so we're going to put a cut in here, but that is a huge find. Oh, I didn't realize that the titanium doesn't give terrain improvement by itself. Until, because like copper and stuff, and uranium in Civ 5, doesn't it give you like +1 production just for existing? I might be wrong about that. All right. So let's go ahead and end this video. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.